scheduling work, assigning work, resource availability, and seeing the utilization of the resources as well. We'll talk about publishing the updates back to Maximo, how that works. We can look at the V-calendar, V-job plan, and V-timesheet. We'll probably won't have a lot of time to go into any detail with these, but I can show those at a high level just so you can understand what they can do and what the capabilities are. Throughout the entire demonstration, please, if you have questions, ask them. I would prefer to address them right there as we're going through the demo. Okay, is that fair? So, quick introduction on me. I'm the Director of Sales with Cellify. I've been with the company for just over 2 years. I've been working with Maximo since '94, helping customers fine-tune how to use Maximo, implementing reliability best practices within Maximo as well. I started off as a user of Maximo. I did all of my planning and scheduling for 183 facilities in Maximo with the process of exporting all of the data to Excel spreadsheets. We tried to use interfaces to Microsoft Project and other applications that were available at the time, but they just never worked. So it was very complicated. Process writing those job plans, as well as the full scheduling from start to finish of regular everyday maintenance work, as well as shipboard overhaul periods as well. So a lot of background, a lot of information and trials and tribulations along those lines. I have 2 slides here that I want to go through very quickly. One is the introduction of Cellify. We were founded in 2003, primarily for improving maintenance practices within Maximo around planning and scheduling. The majority of our people are former users of Maximo. Like myself, I was a Maximo user, I was a consultant, I was an implementer, and I was a planner and scheduler as well. We have a deep domain knowledge and expertise in planning and scheduling. We also have some very, very talented folks who understand Maximo and makes our implementation of Akwire that much smoother. And the key thing here is that we are the creators of Akwire. We're not reselling this for somebody else. It's developed in-house, supported in-house. All of the enhancements are handled in-house as well. We have a very capable team of developers who have a button-down process for rolling out enhancements to the application, as well as supporting the application for all of our customers. The next slide basically talks about what modules make up Akwire. So the visual suite is made up of the vSchedule, which is what we'll talk about primarily today. We have add-ons that are part of the package that include metrics, compliance, the ability to export to Outlook, and a daily worksheet as well. We also have an add-on called Listener, which pulls the Maximo database for any new work orders that are being entered. This one is not included. There's an additional cost for this because of the way it has to be implemented and installed on top of Scheduler. We also have the calendar, which we'll touch on today. It has an add-on for export to Outlook. Job plans we'll talk about today. Timesheets we'll talk about today. And finally, Empower we'll not really touch on, but this is a very powerful tool that allows you to manage the data that you have in your Maximo system. So it allows you to find missing data, holes in your data, incorrect data, and it gives you the ability to update that data within a simple Excel-type spreadsheet and pushing the changes back in through the Maximo MBOs. So on the technical side, you guys should understand the MBOs and how they work within Maximo. If not, I can answer any questions on that as well. All right, so at this point, I'm going to stop the PowerPoint, and I will bring up my Akwire screen, and we'll go ahead and start the demonstration. Yes.
Okay, we have one question right here. It's Joe One. Matt, did you say that the matrix or KPI are an add-on and come at an additional cost?
Not the metrics. The metrics are included. The only add-on that is an additional cost is what we call the listener. And that's a tool. We have several people using it, but most of our customers don't really, they don't feel the need for it because because of the way they build their schedules. If you're in a very reactive mode where you're adding work orders to Maximo or emergency work orders all the time, then the listener would be a good option for you, because what it does is it reads the Maximo database for new work orders after you download work orders to start building your schedule in Akwire. So any new work order that's out there, you can look at and say, yes, I need that in my schedule, or no, I don't need that in the schedule, and leave it out. But the other ones that I mentioned are included with the software. There's no additional cost for that with the vScheduler module.
Okay, that answers the question.
Okay. So let me just set the stage here, and we'll talk about what we're actually looking at. I know we've done this demo before, so this may be a recap, but Akwire is a .NET application. It's built to basically look like the Microsoft Office products. So when you look at the menu items here, you click on them and you'll have pull-down menus that you can click to do other things. So very similar to what you're used to. The next line that we have here are basically icons, push buttons of the common tasks that people work with. So any of these, when we click on them, it will do different things within the system. It will access different functionality capabilities within the application. Okay? This one here is basically looking at the timeline. We're looking at it on a daily basis. I can change that to an hourly basis, a weekly basis, monthly, yearly, custom. I can look at different shift schedules that we have set up, and this will automatically refresh all of this information down here, which is our resource availability. So if I change this to the weekly view, for this resource here, it's going to take all of these 8 hours into effect and combine them into one view, so it would be 40 hours minus whatever work has been assigned. So if I come up here and I click the weekly view, you'll see that it'll readjust all of this. And I can expand the view a little bit here to show more of the weekly basis. So for these resources here on a weekly basis, this is the total hours of availability that I have. Okay? So now I can see if I have a lot of work that I've got to get fit into this week, I know how many hours I have available, and as I start filling up that week with work, I'll start to see these color changes. And anytime I see a red, that means I'm over-allocated for that week, and I need to do something about it. In this particular case, it's an hour and a half over. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I just let that slide and assign that 1.5 hours to overtime. So very quickly and easily, I can see things like that.
Matt?
Yes?
Matt, it's Joe Warren again. Matt, my question is can we filter? I'll give you a bit of background. We don't have centralized scheduling here. We are scheduled by discipline. So we have schedules by scheduler and schedules by craft that are kind of step through. So can this be broken down into schedules by scheduler, in other words, by discipline and by craft?
So when you say by discipline, how do you mean? Is it we can certainly do it by craft, okay?
No, we have multiple groups with multiple crafts within them.
Okay.
Right? So what we have is you could call it electrical discipline, but that electrical discipline will have other crafts in it besides electrical. It will have instrumentation people. So, and other groups might have instrumentation people. So we really need to see what is the instrumentation effort going forward, what is the effort by discipline, and of course a global view, so that we can try to synchronize the efforts of all disciplines.
Okay. So the questions I would ask are, how do you filter that work in Maximo today?
Oh, we can't. It's all done on spreadsheets.
Okay. So my suggestion, there's a couple of things we can do. There's a person group field in Maximo that some people use as a work group. And if I click on this field here, what I did was I clicked on this button here, which is our column chooser, which gives us the ability, or you the ability, to bring in any field from Maximo into your Gantt view here, into the work list here. So that any of these fields I can sort on, I can group on, I can filter on. So if I bring in work group, you'll notice that pops up here in the front. For most of these work orders, that field is blank. However, I do have some work that's set up for two different work groups. This was set up for a specific demo for another customer, and basically what they have is these work groups that are set up by discipline, so electrical work and mechanical work, but within the electrical group, you can have mechanics assigned, and within the mechanical group, you can also have electricians assigned. Okay, so that's kind of what you're looking for. The other option would be, if you want to filter all of your work by a specific craft, we can do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and clear this filter that I've set here by clicking on this button. And then I'm going to say, click on this field here for electricians, and when Akwire notes that field here, that set equal statement